This episode of Soldier Knows Best is brought to you by Netflix. Hey, what's up guys, Soldier Knows Best here. I am back now, I'm back in full force. I've been kind of on a little vacation over the holidays, haven't been making a lot of videos, but now I'm ready to get things started here in 2013. And actually my first video is going to be talking about a certain company and what they have to do in 2013 in my own eyes. And this company, of course, I'm going to be talking about is Apple. Now first talking about the laptops, I think in 2012 we saw the introduction of the Retina display MacBook Pro, which I think is one of my favorite computers of all time. I love that thing. It has performance, it has power, it has speed, it has that Retina display, which just really makes video and pictures really just pop out off the screen. But I think in 2013, I think they'll probably be bringing over the Retina display to the MacBook Airs, which I think it may be their best-selling laptop out right now. So if they bring over the Retina display to the MacBook Air, that would be an awesome little machine to have. Another thing that I would like to see Apple do with their laptops is really hit this battery issue head on. I think the one thing out of all our portable electronics that's really been lagging behind for all these years is battery. There still hasn't been a really solid battery solution to really give us full 24 48 hours of use. Like you can go non-stop and use that thing for a long. Now there have been other phones like the Droid Razr Max and things like that that can have a really big battery in them, but I'm really looking for something in the laptops to really be able to get us some very long battery life, which we all need. Now moving on to the desktops, Apple made a late entry in the desktop marketplace with these new very slim iMacs that they released back here in late November and December. And I really do like this. It's a 27-inch iMac. I did do a review on this bad boy on my channel, but I think for the most part, Apple is good with the regular consumer desktops. But when it comes to the pro users who really want a fully customizable Mac, which the only one they offer is going to be the Mac Pro, Apple is too far behind, and it's really no excuse for a company that has the type of money that they have, and us as consumers are really pouring a lot of money into them. They just really neglected the Mac Pro, and they were just kind of like, F you, we don't care. It doesn't have USB 3.0, it doesn't even have Thunderbolt. What they've really been pushing. The graphics card are years behind. I think around like 2009 is where some of these graphics cards were released. And so Tim Cook did allude to the fact that they may be reworking the Mac Pro and maybe releasing something new and fresh in 2013, maybe a new design, and hopefully it gets up on all these new features and finally include an SD card reader, something simple as that. But I think they really have to hit the Mac Pro head on in 2013. And let's talk about the iPhone. Now the iPhone I think will always be a very popular cell phone out there. Really, they can probably just do in 2013 an iPhone 5S where it has the same design, but they just bump up the internals, release a better camera, maybe make the display just a little bit better as far as the PPI and things like that. But I really think the main problem with the iPhone that Apple needs to address in 2013 is iOS itself. iOS 6 was definitely not as much as what I was expecting for Apple to do with it. I think Apple checked off on their list a lot of things that people want, copy and paste and all this stuff over the past couple of years. I thought iOS 6 would be a really awesome opportunity for them to just introduce some new features that we just haven't seen before on an iPhone, but they definitely didn't do that. Apple Maps or iOS Maps is really an easy target to go after. I'm not going to do that in this video, but I think generally when you look at Android, you look at the evolution of Android, which is definitely their biggest competition. When I use the Nexus 4 and just Android, that pure Android experience, I love it. There's so many things you can do with it, and it just feels like a more complete experience than iOS, which again, iOS is still really aimed at making things very simple, very elegant, and very snappy, which I do appreciate about it. But I do think that they need to start catering a little bit more to the power users or the pro users of these cell phones as well. Now one big change that Apple did do in 2012 as far as iOS, they got rid of the lead guy on iOS, which was Scott Forstall, and now they put Johnny Ive in this place. And Johnny Ive is basically the guy who designs all the laptops, tablets, computers. He basically designs the hardware, but now he's going to take a shot at doing the software, which I'm really interested to see what he's going to do, and hopefully we can see his influence in iOS 7. And lastly, is going to talk about the iPad. Now in 2012, Apple actually released 3 new iPads. The 3rd generation in the early part of 2012, the 4th generation, and the iPad mini. Both of those came here later on back in 2012. And so I think Apple definitely is okay in the big 10-inch iPad marketplace. There's really not any major competition there. I like the Nexus 10 as far as a 10-inch tablet, but other than that, it's really not a tablet out there that's really going to challenge the bigger brother, the iPad, at least not now. That may change in 2013. But when it comes to the iPad mini, they're really the new kid on the block, because the Nexus 7 and the Kindle Fire have been selling very well and have proven themselves in this 7-inch form factor, but around $200 to $250 price point, which I think a lot of people are definitely liking that price point versus versus $500 starting off with the iPad, the bigger brother iPad. And there's two things I think Apple needs to do with the iPad mini. One, put a Retina display in that bad boy. If you've been using the Retina display and you go to the iPad mini, it's definitely a drop off in quality. And then two, probably try to get that price down a little bit more in the $200 price range. $299 would definitely be a lot more appealing than $329. And I think that Apple can do that with this next generation iPad mini, whatever they're going to call it. I think that'll be a pretty awesome step for them to do that. So anyway, I don't want this video to go too long, but these are all the things that I want to see from Apple. And I think if Apple can do these things, I think they'll have a very solid 2013. And of course, other stuff like the Apple TV and things like that may be actually coming out, a real physical Apple TV may be coming up, but I'll save all those rumors and stuff for another video. So anyway, guys, but before I do end this video, let's go ahead and take one last look at our sponsor for this video. Today's sponsor is Netflix, and if you didn't know, Netflix can stream movies and TV shows to your TV set, your computer, your cell phone, your tablet via the Netflix application. It's also available on the Xbox 360, the PlayStation, Nintendo Wii. Almost everything now has a Netflix app for you to be able to watch all the TV shows and movies that you want to anytime that you want to. So if you want to go ahead and try out Netflix, you can go to netflix.com/soldier and get your free trial membership. Again, that's netflix.com/soldier. All right, guys, again, thanks for watching this video. Please leave a comment down below what you want to see from Apple in 2013. What do you think they need to do? Leave that comment down below. And thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you later. Peace.